everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 2, Episode 22, Ham Radio News and Updates, 7/25/2024. I do apologize for not being able to get on last night. I was wiped out. I had a long day at work yesterday. It just totally floored me, but I did want to get this out tonight. So I hope you guys can bear with me. Cooley, I know I see you're there. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I appreciate that, and everybody else that's watching, appreciate that as well. Got some things. I was able to get my 6200 first contact video out, so we're going to talk about that in a minute, and just some other general updates as well too. Remember, there are a couple of items coming up of note in August. There's the Huntsville Ham Fest, and I'm not exactly sure when it is in August. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go to that because we're still trying to navigate on when we're going to be able to get up to Ohio to see the grandkids around Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, somewhere around there. So we won't be going to Huntsville this year. I want to try to get that in next year. So we're going to try to work that in next year as well. That's one of the things. The other thing is there's the Tokyo Ham Fest. And the reason I mentioned the Tokyo Ham Fest is ICOM is going to be displaying their real radio, not just the internal components like they did back at Hamvention. So stay tuned for that. I think that's about, hey, Waypoint New England, welcome. Good to see you tonight, my friend. All right, I love you guys coming over from Rotor Talk Live. That's just 2 thumbs up. That's just great stuff. And Cooley, you're always good to see you, my friend. That's fantastic. So that's great. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Appreciate that. And like I said, Tokyo Ham Fest is coming up in August. Not exactly sure. When I get more information on it, we're going to probably do a video on that and get that information out to you. And we'll find out in short order. Now, Dr. Ted, welcome. Good to see you as well. It's like Rotor Talk Live on Thursday night at 6. Here we go. I love that. We'll find out what this is going to be. And one of the things that you need to know is when ICOM releases this over in Japan, okay, we still have to get clearance. It still has to get certified by the FCC here in the United States. So the process is, even though you'll see a radio and it'll be working and you get all excited about it, probably you're going to have to wait at least a year. That's just a guess. By the time, it gets certified over in Japan, it will have to get certified over here as well too. And of course, pricing. And I think this is probably going to be, you're going to have to break open a couple of piggy banks for this one. This one's going to set you back a few coins. So first thing I want to talk about is my video today. And I finally was able to get to it. Now, it's most videos, it's not that hard to edit. These videos are pretty hard to edit because I have to go through. I was on the radio for, my gosh, 3 hours or so or more, at least. And I had to, sift through all these. And I kind of remembered where my contacts were. So, and I went through them and I wanted to get some meaningful conversations on here as well, some QSOs, so you guys could hear that. And my next video that's coming out, this is going to be good. What I'm going to do is we're going to compare the 6200, and the same day I took the antenna and the battery off the 6200 and I put them on the IC705. So we're going to kind of do a comparison and see how they pan out. And it's interesting. Okay. One thing I will tell you is this, and this is unfortunate here, and I don't know why this happened. I was using my new DJI Action Cam to fill this, which is a fantastic camera, but I can tell you that the display that you see on the 6200 right here, it's much sharper in person. And I don't know why it was out of focus, because I did my 705, I used the same camera and it was very much in focus. So I don't know why the camera may have been too close. The camera is good. The display on here is fantastic. I want to let you guys know that. So don't be dismayed by the video that you see right there. But all in all, I was very impressed with it. The one big takeaway that I got from all this, because we all know the 6100 had heat sink issues and it got really, really hot and people had to add their own customized heat sinks to it. Well, That's not a problem with the 6200. I was running this for about 3 hours, almost four, and yeah, it was warm. But Justin, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Thank you're here. Thank you that you showed up. That's great. I appreciate that. No, what I was saying was the 6100 had real problems with dissipating heat, and people had to put heat sinks on them. Well, here on the 6200, not so much, and I'm really pleased with that. um you know and of course, and I think part of it is due to the battery is removable on this versus in the 6100 it's not really removable. I mean, you'd have to take screws off and get it's internal. This is external, and it's easy, and they did give me an extra battery as part of the deal that I got when I bought it. So all in all, I am very impressed with this. I think my one takeaway, and this is what I'm going to be adding this on to the next video that I do. I think the one takeaway that the one of the differences for me between the 6200 and the 705 has a touch screen. This is not a touch screen, and it's kind of menu driven, and you got to turn knobs to get to your selection, and then push a button in, which is okay, but it kind of gets old after a while. Being able to push it on the 705 and go around it's just much easier. So I'm hoping maybe the next iteration of Zygu QRP like this is going to have a touch screen. It just makes all the difference in the world. I know for me, especially when I'm out there and I want to switch bands real quick, or I want to focus in, because you can switch the band right there. You can switch the frequency when you hit that on 705. You can't do that here. It's all, but all in all, it's a radio. I would recommend getting this radio. Understand though, it is 8 watts. I will tell you that, and it is every bit of 8 watts. And when I say that, that means, yeah, you're good. It's a QRP radio. I mean, there's no surprises here. There's no breaking news bulletins on that. And the way the bands have been lately, I was very fortunate on Saturday. 20 meters was jumping on Saturday. That's a good question, Justin. That's a really good question. One of the radios I would recommend, I just saw a video by our good friend Smoking Ape, the Zygo G90. I think that's a fantastic radio. It's priced well. I think it's about $399. You can, it's a go up to 20 watts with it, which is it's not really a QRP, and it's not really a full fledged HF. I mean, I don't want to say full fledged. It's not 100 watts. Okay, it's 20 watts. But as my good friend Walt said, and you probably watched some of Walt's videos. I don't know if you've seen him, Justin. Yeah, I would recommend the Zygu G90 for now. That would be a perfect radio. 20 watts is plenty of power. If you get a good antenna up, you'll make all kind of contacts with it. Okay. I guarantee you that. Coastal Waves and Wires, that's Walt's channel. I'm sorry. Watch Walt's channel, because he's done a lot of videos on the G90. That's a favorite radio of his. It's called Coastal Waves and Wires. Something I highly recommend. But that would be definitely a radio to get. The place to get it, Radio Oddity. They almost always have some kind of deals or sales, or you put multiple packages, multiple things together, and you get a good discount on it. But it's a great radio at a great price. Yeah, and Smoking Ape, Justin, he just did a he was testing spurious emissions on the G90, and came through in flying colors. Just absolutely put it on the analyzer. Smoking Ape really gets down to the nitty gritty details, and he does a great job. Yeah, Coastal Waves and Wires. He did a fantastic job. He hit every band, and it was where it should be. It was exactly where it should be. So spurious emissions, and those are good. Those are really good radios. Versus you see some of the handhelds, and you watch Jason or some other guys go out there, and it's just like through the roof with spurious emissions. This one is just absolutely spot on. So yeah, G90 is something I would definitely recommend for you as a first HF radio. You will love it. It's very easy, very straightforward. And Walt has a great like starter video on it. If you just get the G90, everything you need to know on it. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. And Walt's just one of my favorite guys out there. Absolutely love him. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through. There's not a tremendous amount of news, but there is some. The first one that I wanted to touch on. Now I've gone, yeah, I've kind of gone round and round and round here. I'm now doing a lot of my updates out on Ham Radio Basics on the group. So that's instead of on Twitter. I don't know why I'm just starting to do it that way. I think it's easier for me to get really good content from a couple of Facebook groups and get it on there. And that's why I switched doing that. But anyway, we're going to take a look at Twitter first. Just want to show you one thing on here. All right. And this is a solar weather report, and it's Dr. Tamitha Skov. Direct hit. NASA and NOAA model predictions show the solar storm will impact July 24th, yesterday. The window for arrival starts early July 24th. Likely the storm will be fashionably late due to slow solar wind traffic and an additional glancing storm blow ahead of it. G1, G2 level conditions expected with aurora possible to mid-latitudes. HF, VHF radio and GPS users expect signal degradation on Earth's night side. So, these are good. These are really good. If you're on Twitter, and I highly recommend you get on Twitter, follow her on Twitter. That's what she does her best updates. And that's one of the things I wanted to get out here because, she's not really a lot on Facebook, but she really is out on Twitter. So again, this is really good information, especially when you're going out, and that's one thing that I did before I went out that Saturday before I hooked things up on Saturday. I wanted to check the band conditions, and things look pretty good. I mean, better than they have been. Let me put you that way. I won't say pretty good. I'll say better than they have been. But that's it for Twitter for today. And let's go ahead and I'm going to flip over to Facebook. And here we go. Okay. All right. Installing the AVBX Meshtastic node at 5,553 foot altitude in Mexico in Cerro, Colorado. Okay. So that would be an interesting video, something you want to take a look at. 13 Colony special event. And that happened to be the weekend that I was testing the 6200, and you can take a look here and see this gentleman, he kept a manual sheet of his logs for that event. And it's good. I like it that people have come up with different ideas for contesting, and I think that's a really good idea. Okay, got a question. The guy had trouble finding and answered in research running a mag mount Nagoya 2 meter, 70 meter antenna, 20 inches long, quarter wave and 5/8 wave. It's currently mounted on the roof of my car, but it's mounted behind my cargo basket. Not ideal. Included a picture of its current location. And this is nice. What I love about this is, people coming out there, and people do it out on Twitter as well too. But people will, and the site that I get a lot of these posts from is Ham Radio Operators. It's the largest Facebook group. There's over 80,000 there, and the admins are fantastic people. I absolutely love them. And this is really good because it sparks, and I've been seeing lately a lot of really good people have been putting comments on there. Not a lot of sad hams out here, and I think they police it very well. So and it's always good to be able to post things like that. And of course, that was for tonight's show, which was yesterday. This is really funny. This gentleman is, can you do a video on what you do for work and how you got into it? Thanks. So, there are lots of different jobs a tower technician does, but here's a typical maintenance day. All you got to do is hop on Indeed and get to work. So, and he goes through that there. That's a really interesting video here. This one, ham radio call signs discovered during Clayton UC renovation, revive memories of Lehigh's Amateur Radio Society, and it goes back in the day, and it's really interesting here. And some of these videos are really, I like some of the historical things and going back and looking at how things were. Um, and it really kind of lends itself to give us a lot of, we find out how things are. So I really, really, really like that here. And then this is a trip way back to the Collins 301 amplifier. Okay. Um, it's really nice when you see a lot of this equipment that's still in good condition, in working condition. And a lot of times when you go to swap meets, you'll see 1,000 of these, you know, whatever, and they're pretty beat up, and they probably are not they probably don't work. And it's really nice to come across some finds like this. And this gentleman was able to come across one, which I thought was fantastic here. Um, How's 40 meters? And well, and you can take a look here and see. This was it from the other day. Ham radio has led me to learn other things like programming Raspberry Pi and installing Ham Clock. And Ham Clock is a fantastic application. Geo Atlas is as well. I kind of prefer Geo Atlas. I'm just not set up in my room to do that. When my work set up, when I retire, that's where all my ham radio stuff is going to go, and that's where I'm going to set up my ham radio computer. I already got one. I got a desktop, an old Dell desktop I'm going to use for that. And I got monitors set up. I'm all ready to go for that. So we're gonna get 7300 set up back there and all that, and we're gonna be rocking it. So hopefully next year sometime that'll happen. This is really good. SWR is that important. This was a really good video. If you get a chance to, I'd recommend watching it. Because a lot of people, especially when you're starting out, and Justin, this will probably be a good video for you as well too. A lot of people get, you can, it's important. Let me say, SWR is very important. All right. Because you can have the best receiver in the world, you can have the best transceiver in the world, but if you don't have a good antenna and you haven't tuned that antenna, whatever process you're going to do, if you need to put radials down there, whether it's an end fed or vertical, the antenna, you got to spend money on that, and you got to spend time and take time to tune the radios as well too. And it's so important to do that, because otherwise, you're just going to be fighting against. It's like trying to swim upstream. Okay, and it's not easy to do, and it's the same thing here. So, Justin, I would highly recommend you watch this video, because it is important. Because a lot of hams will get in here and dive in. They'll get their coax hooked up, they'll get it to the radio and everything. I'm not making contacts, I'm not getting anything out of there. Well, maybe did you check your SWR? No. Well, why do I need to do that? And I'm like, okay. And this is a really good video on that. I also did a video on I have an MFJ meter, measures SWR. Justin, you can go back out on my channel. That real, and I showed what it was on the various bands on my Chameleon Impasse 2.0 vertical, and I was very impressed. I only had one radial out, and I was very impressed with how it did. And one of the things I got to say about Chameleon with the Impasse 2.0, they give you on on the coax. God bless them. They give you a choke on the coax right there, so you don't have to go out and buy a separate one. It's all there, part of that 50-foot coax that they give you with the Chameleon Impasse 2.0. I just thought that's what sets Chameleon apart. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But no, that's definitely a video you want to watch. And also, when you go out to my channel, I did one on MFJ antenna, and I think it's called Antenna Analyzer. I think that's the name of it. But it really kind of shows you how important that is, and it shows you the ranges that it needs to be in. It's a good video. It's something I would definitely recommend here. And this was interesting here, the rich history of ham radio culture. Some of these things, and I love history, and that's one of the things I did. I was an A student in history all throughout school, and elementary, middle, and high school. and I'm still a student of history as well too, and I love it. And ham radio history is very rich. There's a lot to this, and this is a really good article. And you get a chance to, I would highly recommend you guys taking a look at this here. Um, Anybody use a flagpole antenna? Are they effective? Okay, that is a great question, and I'm following that because that's the route I'm going to be going as a flagpole antenna, because our HOA does allow flagpoles, and it's really up to 20 feet. So, and there are plenty of them out there. There's one manufacturer, and I think they're out of Salt Lake City. People have said that they have had horrific problems, and they'll ship partial orders out. It'll be 2 or 3 months before they get their other order in, and their customer service is very behind, and just they don't answer emails, and it's just kind of a nightmare with them. But I'm still looking for the ideal flagpole antenna. So if anybody ever hears of one, please let me know. Please email me at hamradiobasics@gmail.com. That would be fantastic. But yeah, here we go. 13 Colony special event. It's another one. It's a nice graphic on that. I really, again, that's a great thing here. And gentleman just became an amateur extra the other day, and I love that. And I always go out there, and if you're part of these groups, for like Justin, when you get your license, when people congratulate you on these groups, I do that because you know what? It's one of the best feelings in the world. You studied hard, you passed the exam. Yeah, congratulations. I mean, that's always a good thing, and that's always that you've done something, and it's a great accomplishment. And I really enjoyed the congratulations I got when I passed all 3 of my exams. I think that's just absolutely fantastic here. And this was interesting. Shows his antenna for the day. And he's using it's a 705. Awesome. And this was a Museum of Radio and Technology in Huntington, West Virginia. And there are probably every kind of radio known to man and then some. And somebody put a comment in there. Do they all work? And that was probably a really good question. This was a good one here. If you've ever wanted to learn CW but didn't know how to get started, I may be able to help you. I just released the first 3 videos in my new CW02 on air series. So, CW is always challenging for people, and I can see why. That's probably something I'm not going to dip into, but who knows? I never say never on that, but that's not just something that's not a particular area of interest for me as far as ham radio is concerned. And this was good. Cleaning out the shack and came across this familiar sight. Look at that right there. Okay. Yeah, that was very interesting. I like seeing that here. And then of course there's my video on the 6200, and that's what I got for all the news for this week. So again, remember the Huntsville Ham Fest is coming up next month in August. It's something you want to probably bookmark if you're interested in going to it. Oh, that's great, Justin. That is absolute. Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you, I hope, are you using Ham Radio Prep? The guys out there, they just, I wish it was around when I studied for mine. Now I used Ham Test Online, I think is what it was. And they rotated the question pool, which was fantastic because you didn't memorize answers. You knew what the answers were. And I really liked that. But Ham Radio Prep, yeah, good. I hope, I'm telling you, they make it so easy. And I'm really trying to encourage my wife to kind of look to get her technician license so she can talk on a handheld, and we could hit a repeater if something's going on. That's why I want her to be able to do something like that. So Justin, that's awesome. That congratulations. That is just awesome. And like I said, that G90, I can't say enough about it for a first HF radio for you. It's priced right. Go out to Radio Oddity. They probably have some have some package deals. Like if you buy, there's a cooling fan for it and some other things. You could probably hook yourself up with getting a good deal. And Radio Oddity is a good company to do business with. That's where I got my Zygo 6200 from. I've gotten some other things from them through the years. They do a great job. They do an absolutely great job. Their customer service is great. They're very responsive. I can't say enough nice things about them. They really are good. Just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that's it for tonight. That's all I have. I want to thank you guys, Justin. I want to thank you for stopping by tonight. Dr. Ted was here, Waypoint, New England. Cooley, thank you guys for stopping by. And again, I apologize for having to move it to tonight, but it was just last night was not going to happen. Okay, I was gone. I've been working 55 plus hour weeks, so that's probably had something to do with it. So, but again, thank you guys so much for this. Get a chance, watch the 6200 video, and I'm going to be following it up next week with the 6200 versus 705 video for you guys to take a look and see what it was. And there was one thing that the 6200 did that the 705 didn't do, and you'll find that out in the video. So that'll be fun. And Chris, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm kind of cutting things out tonight while we're kind of wrapping things up here. So. And again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate that. And my two guys from Drone Channel, Waypoint New England, and Dr. Ted, thank you guys for following me over here. I really appreciate that. Ham radio is just so much fun. I enjoy it so much. And when I retire, I'm going to be getting even more into it and having even more fun than I have right now. And you guys are fantastic. Absolutely love every one of you guys. So as always, guys, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7 3s to everybody. Have a great